I'm explaining a film from 2022 titled Once in the Desert. Spoilers ahead. Enjoy the content. In Palmyra, Syria, Captain Dima, a Russian explosive specialist, relocates prisoners to a remote site. At a nearby base, he trains the Syrian Special Warfare Explosive Ordnance Disposal team on firearms safety and demonstrates disarming a needle mine and a gyroscopic bomb. He shows them how to use a grappling hook to control the dangerous gyroscopic apparatus and forbids them from ever touching it. He seizes a trainee's cell phone in a firm manner, demanding that they pass the test first. He yanks the phone, metaphorically, from a board and states that tracking gadgets are not permitted on the base. He then gives them instructions to be ready for a combat test that day. After that, the captain boards a military vehicle with his disposal squad and they travel to Palmyra city. They are told to check the minefields when they are stopped close to a checkpoint. First, the squad is ecstatic to hear that the ISIS organization has been driven from the city by their troops. The captain arranges his demining team and informs them that 3 Iranian deminers had previously lost their lives in that area. He motivates them by saying that if they wish to pass the test and earn their demining licenses they must first clear the field. As they enter the field, a team member named Muslim discovers a landmine a few steps ahead. As he watches Muslim dispersing the explosives, the captain gives the order for everyone to withdraw. Muslim cuts the wire to successfully disarm the bomb. They applaud one another and ask what their prize is, to which the captain replies that they will get their diplomas at the base. Samilia, a Syrian woman who had been watching them work and was inspired by their bravery, approaches them and offers them water. She asks to speak with the captain after introducing herself. She discloses that before to the war, she worked as a tour guide. When she asks about his phone call, he tells her that he was attempting to get in touch with his soon-to-be-married daughter Tatiana. She finds him easy to converse with. At this point his assistant Riyad arrives and invites the captain to join them for a photograph. He excuses himself from Zamilia and heads towards them but notices that they have left their tools on the road. He becomes suspicious of the area and urgently calls them back to retrieve their tools. Unexpectedly, a landmine explodes and causes a huge explosion as the captain is watching his troops. A number of team members, including Zamilia, are injured and killed in the explosion. When the captain comes to, he discovers that his crew has all died and goes to check on them. He starts looking for Zamilia behind the car after discovering her luggage. Shortly after the arrival of the rescue chopper, the captain refuses to be evacuated until Zamilia has been rescued, despite the rescuer's best efforts. They agree with his request, get Zamilia, and take both of them out of the area on stretchers via airlift. A few days later, the captain receives a visit from a senior Russian military commander at the base where he is recovering. They interrogate him about the events that transpired on the day of the explosion. They notice his dissatisfaction with the investigation and inform him that he will be sent home the following day. The captain then inquires about Zamilia's whereabouts from the head nurse, who informs him that the Syrians were transferred to a base in Tartu. His former squad is getting off an aircraft at the airport as he gets ready to head back to Russia. Before leaving, Lieutenant Jilin, Makarsky, and Kasida are among those who line up. Captain D-Men comes up to them and gives Dima a tour of his new explosives disposal squad. During this moment, a general walks by and calls for Captain Dima. About his engagement with Kasida's team, the general asks. Dima clarifies that he intends to go back home after sharing his experiences with his colleagues. The general, nevertheless, convinces him to stay, revealing that he is responsible for organizing a major Palmyra operation. Dima receives an invitation to join his secret group, an offer that Dima takes up. Soon later, Dima is traveling with his new group in an orange field. They receive information about a conflict occurring to their left in the desert. Dima requests a brief stop at a specific location where he informs Kasida that his previous team is buried. He exits the vehicle, encounters some Syrian forces and inquires about Zamilia. Suddenly Riyad emerges from behind the tents and they are both surprised to see each other. They talk about their Zamilia squad. After exchanging contact details and splitting up, Dima asks Riyad to find Zamilia. They then head into the desert with their tanks and HS to fight ISIS terrorists, fighting alongside Ali Baba's team. During the battle, Zamilia calls Captain Dima to let her know that they are in combat and will be returning to Palmyra later. After that, he returns to the battle and prevents a Syrian tank from catching fire and fleeing to more secure ground. They finally reach the Orange Grove, where they start the process of looking for landmines. When Captain Dima finds trip wires, he tells his men to stay in their places. He alerts them to the presence of an improvised explosive device IED on the trees. They retreat to deploy robots to handle the IEDs. Dima communicates to Castia that the grove requires extensive work and suggests relocating the unit to a meeting point. After that, they send a robot that is meant to be destroyed into the field, where it starts to neutralize the IEDs that are hidden. After this procedure, they travel to Palmyra, where Captains Dima and Galina stop at an internet cafe to video chat with their respective daughters. Tatiana Dima's daughter hangs off the phone, saying she's too busy, and neighbors join Giant in a dance for his little girl. Their mission's next stop is an abandoned gas factory, where they find additional explosives concealed under drums. A mobile bomb that is completely charged is noticed by Captain Dima, suggesting that terrorists are nearby. He proposes to inspect the area after the bomb has been defused. Dima is then handed a timer and detonator and given a 5-minute window to complete his task. Suddenly he senses something amiss and turns back. He uncovers a wire buried in the sand leading to 2 rebels holding its trigger. Dima manages to eliminate the rebels, disconnect the bombs and signals to his team that the area is now safe. Captain Dima finds a capacitor while going through the weapons and gear of the vanquished ISIS fighters and realizes that the system is still operational. This presents a new challenge for him. The team retreats and takes cover as they come across a suicide truck that is heavily armed and ready to detonate plant explosives. They arrange to neutralize the truck, but the attacker keeps moving forward. Captain Dima hides in a pit to try to attack, but his attempts are thwarted. Jalen's rocket launcher stops the truck, but the explosion that follows also sets off the explosives in the nearby building. Upon their return to the checkpoint, Captain Jalen reports to General Mayer that Captain Dima has been disregarding his orders. He argues that Dima is a crucial deminer in their team and his skills are indispensable. The General Mayer reprimands Dima, stating that while it's important to recover mines, not all risks are worth taking. In the report, he holds Dima responsible, but yet admitting that certain risks are acceptable. After Dima is accused by Captain Galen of transporting an IED into a staff area, the general suspends Dima's orders and removes him of his duty. Dima asks to go with Gamina when they are being returned to the base. They're traveling to Talva, a village where ISIS has detonated explosives in a well. When there is a big explosion at the gate, Dima rallies the Syrian troop to go with him to the town. They steal a truck and make their way to the settlement, where Dima starts to kill the ISIS assailants. After securing the area, they discover the lifeless bodies of the deminers. A local translator informs Dima that both demeanor, including Jalen, are dead. While it's unclear whether Jalen died in the fight, the translator confirms his death. When Dima approaches the general the next day, he is informed that they have taken possession of Jalen's body and are asking for payment. Dima offers to help with the plan to get Jalen's body back and bring Jalen back, but the general says no, saying that the price has already been set. They board a helicopter and fly to the designated location to get Jalen's body, but as they get there, they are ambushed by a group of ISIS fighters, and their helicopter is struck by a rocket launcher, forcing them to follow the crash site. Back at the camp, they evaluate the situation and conclude that the attack was premeditated. They express their frustration at being continually deceived by the enemy. The general then orders the destruction of their mine plant. The general gives Colonel Dima instructions to make ready for operations in Palmyra, and they carry out this directive by flying their aircraft and attacking the target at night. Early the following day, they traveled route to the city. Along the way, Dima stops to see Riyadh, a former team member, and gives him his demoning certificate. Before Dima continues on to the liberated city of Palmyra, they pause to grieve his dead colleagues. Dima feels depressed upon witnessing the city's destruction and can't help but think about Zamilia. He asks the store owner for help in locating an address when he stops by a nearby business. The shopkeeper guides him to the location where he reunites with Zamilia. They discuss the recent attack and Zamilia suggests that Dima call his daughter to wish her well on her wedding day. After speaking with his daughter, Dima departs. He then travels to the outskirts of the city with a contingent of the Syrian army. They want to drive him to the spot where ISIS has consented to deliver Lee's body. When they get to the marketplace, members of Jashasham show up with a corpse in their van. The Syrian fighter asks to view the body, but they need money beforehand. They grab the chance to launch an assault when he requests a moment to make a phone call. The terrorists are all neutralized when a heated shootout breaks out. Upon closer examination, Captain Daimima discovers that the deceased is not Jalen. A terrorist's phone is given to him by a Syrian guard. The fact that Zamilia is a spy horrifies him as he looks through the device's pictures and recordings. This revelation deeply upsets Dima as he recalls their encounter during the attack. He remembers that everything was calm when the jammer was active, but as soon as it was turned off, Zamilia made a call and the entire field was blown up. He immediately heads to her home and is shocked to find her interacting with a terrorist. After executing the guy, he tells Zamilia to raise her hands. He learns that she is employed by the terrorist organization Jasham. Zamilia says it was fate that brought them together throughout the conflict. She discloses that Jash made a proposal to trade Jalene for Jihadi John. She tells him that Jihadi John is still alive and that they will meet for the exchange at midday near the dried-up river. They demand that it be she who brings Jihadi John to them. Dima turns around and shoots Zamilia as he is ready to depart. The following day, they headed toward the dried-up river to swap the detainees. The film goes back to its starting point. They bring Jihadi John to the designated spot, put the shooters on standby and have drones monitor the situation. Captain Dima takes John to them in exchange for Jalene. They hand him over and retreat to their vehicles. However, Dima is horrified to see that Jalene is covered in explosives. As he starts to defuse the devices, he gives Jalene the order to stay still. After taking off his jacket, he looks for the cables that link the explosives. He is shocked to find a gyroscopic trigger and understands he has little time to neutralize it. Pulling on Jillian's vest, he gives the order for him to gently slip out of it before telling him to escape and seek cover. However, the vest explodes in a matter of seconds, killing Captain Dima. The movie concludes with a scene of Dima and embracing his daughter in her wedding dress. Hope you enjoyed. Do subscribe, like and comment if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you again soon.